This is Sara.
Hi.
Wilkins. I had to cheat and look. Sara Wilkins. She's a listener, and she came up here to interview Jelly Roll. I told her we got the Jelly Roll Zoom call going on, and she's going to interview Jelly. And you're a big fan, right? You didn't...
Huge fan, yeah. Me and my fiance, James.
James, handsome fella there, lucky guy. And of course, business fair, stuff like that. So, one quick thing I didn't tell you, I lied to you a little bit.
Oh Lord.
There's no Zoom call. However,
Okay.
we did manage to bring Jelly Roll in, so
You're
if you don't mind
lying.
now.
You're lying.
So come on in, Sara.
You're
not
lying.
What's up, Sara?
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Come on in, Sara. Come on in, James.
What's up, Sara?
Oh my god!
How are you, baby?
This isn't even happening.
Okay, Sara. Yeah, so come on in.
Wow.
So this is
What's up,
James.
baby? What's up, Bubba? What's up, dog? How are you, brother? Thank you for coming
Oh
out.
my god!
All right,
this
so-
is crazy.
Sara, I take the guilty. We lied to you. We told her it's just going to be a Zoom call, and we wanted to see get that expression there. But she said she's a big. She said she's a big fan, so we're going to be able to
Oh, yeah, I have all
throw her
kinds
out
of
on the carpet here.
This
These
is
are not
awesome.
good. These are not good questions. She just wanted to come up
Well,
and have
that's
a studio
awesome.
tour.
Right.
I tell you
So,
what, I believe she was a big fan when I seen his tattoos.
Let's see that.
Yeah.
All I didn't see her. I seen him through the door with the tattoos. I was like, nope, that's my kind of guy. I was like,
Everything's going to be all right.
I can tell by the texture of the tattoo. We've had similar artists. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, good shit.
So,
Thank
Cory, I
you,
didn't lie to you
brother,
about
for
this
real.
is a new studio. We're not set
Oh,
up here
okay.
yet.
Well, great.
Everything else was a fabrication, but come have a seat right down
Okay.
here, and really let's talk to Jelly.
I love that she came in with a
Look at that! I mean, she won.
Yes.
She's dressed up. Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
She's-
just gonna go to OTC after this.
Come on, no, you
I
did
know,
that.
boring compared to
Anyway,
this.
So, but anyway, you know, hey.
We'll just start from the top. So for the people who might not be as familiar with you as we are, what are one or two things that you would want them to know about you and your music?
I think the most important thing I'd want people to know about my music is the intent behind it. That I truly am intentional about making something that helps
Right.
and doesn't hurt. You know, I want to make something that I have 3 minutes as a songwriter to help you through either the worst day of your life, the best night of your life, the worst morning of your week, whatever that situation is. I have 3 minutes to kind of be in your car or be in your house in your living room, and I take those 3 minutes really serious. And I think, you know, I'm not just in here just spouting crap out of my ass. It's that I'm really intentional about hoping that this music saved my life before I wrote a song.
Right.
Much like you said, my music helped you, there's music that helped me get out of my drug addiction and get out of my stuff. You know what I mean? To get out of my own, you know, even to this day when I'm struggling up here, I internalize it by listening to music. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd hope. If you don't know who I am from the Man on the Moon, know that's my intention in my songwriting.
Yeah. I think you can definitely feel that though too whenever you're listening to your music. That definitely comes across. Okay, so this is a good one. So last year you headlined a sold-out show at the Ryman Auditorium
Oh, man, it was
in
great.
September.
Yeah.
And then you got to play the Grand Old Opry in December.
It was wild.
What was that like for you being a native Tennessean?
It was crazy. I mean, I ugly cried. You know, not like a regular cry. I don't know. Did you see the video? Yeah, I saw the video. I ugly cried. I didn't cry. I cried like where you know the Michael Jordan picture that's a meme?
Yeah.
I'll be memed one day behind my Grand Old Opry performance. You know, it was just, I tell people it meant a lot. One, it goes back to our people, right? Like, none of us have ever stood in that square. I mean, that circle.
Right.
None of us have ever walked into that circle. So it's like I knew that I was carrying millions of people's pain with me. So when you're standing there, you're looking at these people like they have no clue
Right.
what this means to our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so much, the music, like I tell people all the time during concerts, I'm just a vessel. This shit is so much bigger than me now. I'm null and void of it, right? Like, I just happen to be like the dude in the middle of it, right? But the music itself is what matters here. So it's like, And I was looking at these people like they have no clue that what's in here. And I also knew that we had a lot of Jelly Roll fans out there. So I'm looking at like, and I say this respectfully, but there's like a lot of bingo players that go to the Grand Old Opry. And I'm looking like, they don't have a fucking clue what's happening. I'm sure they've been looking around like, who are all these people with tattoos? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, they don't look like they belong here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you're finna find out. So as soon as I walk on the stage, you're going to see a totally different thing. And all that, yeah, it was just, and as a local kid, it meant more than anything. Just like a local, you know what I mean? It's like, it had to have been how Bun B felt when he did the Houston Rodeo. Yeah. When they did that Texas rap takeover at the Houston Rodeo, like it had to be that pinnacle moment of like
you finally made it.
We have been accepted by every culture in this city now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it felt for me there.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we partied, Bubba.
Oh, I bet.
Man, we partied. Listen, we went to this place called the Nashville Palace next to it.
Yeah.
And did you come that night, Renee? I did not. Oh, you missed it. We got was you there, Alexi? No. Yeah. But we left there. Loba tell you about it?
No.
So we rented the Nashville Palace, the whole Nashville Palace that night.
Oh, wow.
Like a $16,000 bar tab. We went nuts. It was insane.
Oh, man.
I ended up at Kid Rock's house.
Oh, Lord.
Doing things I'm not proud of until like 6 or 7 in the morning. It was awesome.
It happens like that
sometimes. Every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What a hell of a night. Okay, so you originally had started out doing hip-hop music, and then you moved to the rock and country scene. How did you make that transition, and what led you to do so?
I think a coming of age. You said you started listening to me around Trap House. So think about who we were then, right, compared to who we are now, right? I can just tell the way you carry yourself, and also can tell you were probably a totally different dude back there, right? I wouldn't have wanted to bump into me. That's what I'll tell you. The me today wouldn't have wanted to ran into that guy. You know what I'm saying? They might have gotten an altercation, And it would have been that guy's fault because he was a fucking wild card, So the music just kind of evolved with age. It was almost like the necessary steps of evolution. When I was a child, I did childish things. You know what I mean? Right. Kind of the old quote from the Bible. So as I've gotten older, I appreciate music more. Mm-hmm. It's like, I remember there was a time in my life as a Nashville kid, you were like, I don't want to listen to country because it was nothing but country. So it was like your rebellious spirit. And then you get older and you're like, I don't want to listen to nothing but Southern rock and country. You know what I mean? It's just kind of that coming of age, compared to. So I wish I had a cooler answer, but it's just age, man. It's just, dude, I'm 30-something years old now. You know what I'm saying?
Like the same age.
I'm getting old. It's like I just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
It just came with age. Kids, my daughter. Yeah. Thinking about her listening to the music more changed a lot of the perspective of it. And what the music means to people.
Right.
It's like struggle kind of in the same vein. You know what I mean? Struggle was dope boyed out on, I can't remember the name of that mixtape, but Soundtrack to an Indictment. Oh, yeah. Right, you remember the Soundtrack to an Indictment mix? That's so cool to sit here and talk to somebody who remembers this shit. So it's like,
up, James.
It's like it's like the Soundtracks to an Indictment, but it's like we came so far.
The versatility is what gets me. Like, you're so versatile, Like, I mean, you can go from rapping, I'm sure you can still rap it all you want, to changing to the country, to, I mean, even you could probably do gospel music. I mean, your versatility is like unmatched almost in this game.
Yeah, thank you. That's the goal.
That's really what I like about it so much,
Music is just music, man. Just, that's my goal is genres are blurring together. When I was a kid, and I don't know if you were like this, Elliot, but when I was a kid, if you wore a Metallica shirt to school on Monday, we better not catch your ass in an Eminem shirt or an Outkast shirt on Friday.
It's true.
Right? It's like we were tribal to the genre, and now I'm finding that people are tribal to the artists. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's like my daughter will proudly wear an Ariana Grande shirt on Monday and wear a Nirvana shirt on Thursday.
Right.
And everybody at school is just like, that's awesome. I like Smells Like Teen Spirit too, instead of being like, I thought you were a pop fan. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's more of like being tribal to artists as opposed to genres as much. And that's probably not what I should be saying inside of a radio station, but it's the truth.
I think it's an excellent point.
What else you got? This is the best interview I've ever
How
had.
about this, right?
You want to ask him one of yours?
Normally these are so generic. They're just, so where did you grow up at? It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So you,
We already know all
I
that.
completely got you, right? You had no idea that Jelly was here. You really thought.
No, I had no idea. I
legit-
even Googled it and I was like, well, I think he's on tour. But then I saw, oh, well, he doesn't have a concert till the 7th. But I was like, he wouldn't come to Houston just for
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. All right, sorry, James, I stepped on you. Go.
Oh, you're good. Like I say, like did you have like a spiritual experience, or like something that happened to you to make you want to write the music that you write for the people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what struggles did you go through to make you be able to be so raw and real with the lyrics that you sing in your songs?
it was a two-part thing for me, right? Part one was I wrote in the early phase of my career, and I still do. It was a simple philosophy of write what you know and write what you see, right? So a lot of it was music that was just reflective of my environment, my family, my own personal things. My mother struggled with mental health and drug addictions when I was a child. You know, I mean, I think a lot of us grew up similar. You know what I mean? Where there was things, you know, you've seen it, so I just vocalized it through music. Where my turning point comes, and it's like a spiritual moment for me, was I call this my Damascus Road experience, which is when Saul turned to Paul. May 22nd, 2008, I was at CCA, which is a prison in Nashville. I was in cell 223, and a guard knocked on my door and told me that I'd had a daughter that day. And that was the day Bailey was born. So this is 14 years ago, right? 14 years ago next month. And that was the moment I'll never forget, because even till that day, because I'd heard a girl was pregnant because I was out for a few months, and I guess I got a young lady pregnant. But it didn't settle in on me because I was just so fucking on drugs and just in the streets. I just wasn't, you know how to get, I just wasn't connected to what was going on. And then I kind of had a moment where I woke up and I was like, in that cell that day, I was like, I've really got to do something different here. Like, I've got to really figure this out. Like, I got to, and I was just like, listen, God, if you give me a chance to get out of here, because I was going back in front of the board in like a year. I was like, and the problem is they'll put you off for like 2 years at a time. I was like, if you give me a chance to get out of here, I'll be a good father. That's my, which I've learned later in life. You don't bargain with God, but in jail, you'll bargain with anybody, right?
Yeah.
You'll split a bunny bun in half in jail. So I'm just like, God, you know what I'm saying? Let's figure this out. I'll go home and I'll figure this out. And I did. I came straight home and started selling mixtapes out of the trunk. The 10-minute freestyle is the first thing I did. I came straight home. Chad Arms had like a flip cam. I don't know if y'all are so young in the media department, you probably don't even remember these camcorders, but they were little flip
know what you're talking
camcorders.
about.
Yeah, right. You know the flip camcorder, and they had a little flip camcorder, and they had a beat on, and we were in a halfway house. That's why there were so many people in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were in like one of those like transitional living quarters, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I was just like, here it goes, and I just started rapping, and back then it went what they call viral, which back then going viral was easy. It was like, I'll never forget, we hit World Star up when we dropped Pop Another Pill with Lil White, and the World Star was like, we'll only post it if it goes viral, and we were like, what's viral? And they were like 30,000 views in a week. That's how infant stages 12, 13 years ago YouTube was.
Right.
We did like 60,000 in like 4 days. I was like, this is double viral. And then, and then they posted it on World Star Hip Hop. And that was it. But yeah, it all really started with just writing what you know and seeing what I seen. And then it started turning into writing for, it was always people driven. The music was. It was always with purpose. And Bailey just made me take it more serious as a job.
Right.
And I hate to call it a job because I've never worked a day in my life, but what I do for a quote unquote living,
Right.
it's where I started being like, I tell people all the time, every piece of success I'm having right now is just whipped cream on a cake. The cake was the day I realized I'd never risk going to prison again to provide for my family. For me, that was the moment of success. Like, people are like, what was your moment of success when you knew you made it? I was like, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago when I could start paying the rent off music. That was the moment I was like, I don't have to sell weed no more. This is awesome. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is great. I no longer have to risk my freedom to provide for my daughter. Like,
Right.
that was, everything else from there is just all, we are on bonus material now. This is all whipped cream, frosting, and sprinkles. You know what I mean?
So that's actually a great segue into my next question. So you're married to Bunny, who's also successful in her own right. What's it like being a powerhouse couple and raising a teenage daughter?
Whew. loaded questions because the raising the teenage daughter part gave me sweats in my back. The Mary and Bunny part's the easy part. You know, it's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I love our love story. You know, I love when two people come together and do better.
Yeah.
Right? That's like, I'm just such a fan of the idea of two people connecting and making each other better because I think we've all seen relationships where they sadly made each other worse. And I had been a part of a lot of those. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I've had dozens of those experiences where I was just with the wrong woman. And also, I love like fairy tales. You know, I've always been a fan of like, I love stories, and I'm a storyteller by nature. And I thought about, you know, Bunny came from being a sex worker in Vegas and a high-end escort. And I was a fucking reformed crack dealer, drug user. You know, I drink now, but I tell people all the time, like, you should quit drinking. I was like, listen, I don't tie my arm off. I'm proud of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about my drinking, motherfucker.
There's worse things.
Yeah, for sure. You should see what I came from. I am sober
Right.
compared to then. But, you know, it's like, and to see those two people build what we've built and her podcast to be doing so well and for my music to be doing so well and us to have full custody of that same little girl that I heard about. I mean, I was in jail when she was born. I didn't meet Bailey until she was 2.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, to now, we've had full custody of her for like 7 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that little kid is with me. Dude, if I would have done this on the weekend, she'd have flew out after school. Like, that's my little roadie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bunny's only not here right now because one of us has to be an actual adult. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get to run around and drink in Houston and hang out with cool people like y'all. Poor Bunny had to wake up and put a kid on the bus this morning. But she definitely got the shit end of the stick. But her and Bailey have a great relationship. Now, the teenage daughter, Bailey is showing the signs of being a teenager.
Yeah.
So,
we know all about that, right? Yeah.
what's that story?
Oh, he's also got a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Almost
God.
same.
We're like
So-
twins.
Like same story. you're
Girl?
telling. I went through the same thing.
Yeah. Is it a girl?
It's a little girl. Yeah.
Oh, my
Madison.
God.
Madison Elizabeth. Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Bailey Ann and Madison Elizabeth. We should hook them up unless she's trouble, because Bailey's a little trouble. We don't need to take her.
I think all 14-year-old girls is trouble.
You know, and that's where I'm finding peace, right? Because everybody I talk to is telling me what you're saying. It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Bailey's grounded right now, and I don't want to talk about it. Well, cameras. We're not off cameras. But she did some shit that kind of even blew my mind. And that's hard to do. Because I thought what she did, she'll be 14 next month. What she did, I expected from a 15-year-old, not a 13-year-old.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't think I even had to worry about this yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yep.
It's all happening younger.
Yeah, it's the phones. Yeah, so she doesn't have one right now. Yes, that's for sure. Phones, but I'm gonna get her a flip phone next week. But she's been phoning.
She'll be like, what's this? How do I work this thing?
Yeah, an old track phone. Like, well, in my day, we broke these in half after we made big drug deals. But in your day,
You gave me a burner phone.
yeah,
Dad.
it's exactly what it. How you know about that, Elliot?
So you've been very open in your music about your struggles with alcohol and addiction, among other things. What's it like bearing your soul for the entire world to see?
You know, it was scary until you find out that there's so many people that have the Jelly, James, Sara story in the world.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel a lot better. It's actually therapeutic now. Now it's like a forms to be like, you know, it makes you feel better. You know, I got a post that I'm going to post tomorrow. And I hate to bring up such a sad subject, but it's talking about Naomi Judd and her passing, you know, which was ultimately, I love the way that they worded it. They said, after a long bout with the disease of depression. And in short, those of us who have been through deep depression knows what that really meant.
Right.
You know, and it's like, I thought about it. We all wear our history and our health, our mental health differently, right? I am obese, so I wear mine in a way you can see, right? But not everybody wears it in a way that's so obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for me, believe it or not, bearing my soul through the music was easier than being a fat kid, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, it was easier just to kind of voice and be like, look, maybe I look like this for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my drug usage and drinking problems is triggered into something deeper than, you know, than you think of just, I don't want to put down a honey bun,
Right.
right? But it's like, you don't see that in everybody, right? So everybody wears their mental health different. I just kind of wear mine. I was already wearing mine physically. Vocalizing it was easy. You know what I
Right.
mean? For me, where it's like, my heart's broken. Imagine being Naomi Judd and not being able to vocalize that.
Yeah.
You know, not being able, and she did. She had a record she dropped a couple years ago that was just totally about depression and anxiety. But yeah, so for me it was just, but it becomes easier too because it becomes like a little cult. Like we all feel each other. You know, I go into the Facebook groups all the time and just see people, and it's encouraging to know you're not alone.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you're obviously on your way to the top, man. Like you're coming up there, and that struggle's up there too. Can we expect another Waylon and Willie collab?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby, great question. Me and Struggle will do Waylon and Willie's until we're too old to do them.
Nice.
And that means like physically, like, you know, one of us, like we just can't make it to the studio no more. Somebody's changing our diapers or something. I'll still do Waylon and Willie's after I'm done doing Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because I will have, you know, selfishly, I will have dealt with enough of my own shit through this music process that one day I'll walk away. And that's inevitable. I'm not going to be one of these guys that hangs around. I'm not going to be one. You know, I joke about doing it till I'm old, but that's me being facetious. In reality, I'm going to do this until I feel like I've kind of had a breakthrough in person of self. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to go chill. I just take a few years off and just, but I'll do Waylon and Willie's forever. That's my best friend, dude. It's, you know, it's the coolest.
Well, and they're so good.
The coolest feeling in the world is just like me and my wife, two people that came from a story that shouldn't have worked and working. I mean, Struggle and I literally, we've both at different times had a free the other one shirt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there was years of my life I had to wear a free Struggle shirt because he was in prison, and years of my life that he had to wear a free Jelly Roll shirt because I was in prison. And it's not coincidental that we were never locked up at the same time.
Right, because you had that support of the other one.
Yeah, and that also means that when boiled it down to a chicken bone, somebody didn't fucking tell. Because we were side by side in every endeavor. So the fact that only one of us got locked up at a time says a lot about character. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, if we'd have both been locked up at the same time, and somebody got out early, you know, I might have told a little something there. But
Right.
we stayed very true to each other through our darkest moments. You know what I mean? We've carried caskets together. We've dealt through extreme pain together, bursts of child. I've been there for I babysat he's got a 22-year-old daughter that I babysat.
Wow.
Perspective, right? You know what I'm saying?
Brianna,
like, yeah,
right?
yeah, Brianna Harness. I babysat her and Little Will when Little Will was in diapers. That's his 20-year-old son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like literally he was in diapers and I babysat them. Like I was there for the birth of every one of his children. I was there when his baby mother passed, you know, had a drug overdose and died. We've been through all that together. So yeah, the music part is it's the backbone of the story.
So I got to bring up "Save Me,"
Yes.
which is probably my favorite song. It's an acoustic. So what made you want to go that direction with that song?
So as a songwriter in Nashville, 90% of our songs start with a guitar.
Right.
And it's just, you know, me and the only person from my whole band that's with me right now is here with a guitar. And that's whether or not that's Alex. Yeah, and
Oh, we got a guitar in here?
yeah. And that's just in case we needed to play a song for somebody at one of these stations. Or if tonight we just wanted to have a drink and write. So it's like, you'd be surprised, Jelly Roll songs. Dead Man Walking, I have a version of it right now. This is literally the number 2 song on rock radio right now, or number 3. I have a version of it in my phone where it's just me and a guitar. Where we built up the track behind it. And Save Me was one of those songs where it just sounded so raw. It sounded so real with the guitar that I was like, I think if we did anything to this, we'd fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I think we'd blow it. So I was like, we just need to keep this raw and as real as it felt.
What's your favorite song out of all of them and why?
My favorite song right now is Son of a Sinner. And this is my philosophy on this, and this is a very important thing to me. If my favorite song right now, when you ask me this question, isn't on the most recent album I dropped, and I can't say that with absolute conviction, I'll quit.
Yeah.
And I mean that. Like, the day that I'm talking to somebody about a new album, and they go, what's your favorite song? And I go, it's on my new album. It's such and such. I won't put the album out. If I quit way earlier than anybody thought, it's because I just didn't think I'd had a song that was better than a song I'd already wrote. I wake up every day and I truly believe my biggest song is in my windshield, not my rear view. And that's what keeps me writing songs. It keeps me swinging the bat. It keeps me fresh on my feet. You know, I love Son of a Sinner. To me, it's the produced version of Save Me. Right? So that's why I like it. Because I love Save Me because it's kind of slow and sad and just soulful, but it doesn't rock. Where Son of a Sinner kind of gives you that just kind of makes you want to move a little bit, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, to me, that song is just, and I think, I believe in my heart that Dead Man Walking, God willing, will be my first number one, and Son of a Sinner will be my second one. And I think Son of a Sinner will be my biggest streamed song by November of this year. I don't think it'll ever be as big on YouTube because Save Me was just lightning in a bottle.
Over
It was
100 million.
just 100 something million views, right? It
Yeah.
just fucking lit a fuse to the moon on YouTube. But I think when you look at it at Spotify at the end of the year, I think Son of a Sinner, I think it'll be Son of a Sinner, Save Me, Dead Man Walking. That'll be the top 3 on Spotify. That's I hope so. God, I'm sure betting my life savings on it. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, thank you.
Mine too. for
Keep
sure.
me going. Yeah, fall asleep with a plan. Feel free. Yeah. Thank y'all for coming to doing this.
Yeah, oh
And I'm
my
so
God,
glad we
thank
got to do it in
you.
person.
Yeah.
That was even cooler. And thank you to the Buzz for setting it up.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I
I'm
heard
glad you guys could come in and just
Yeah.
say, hey, we're gonna throw some listeners your way.
Yeah.
See what happens.
No, we thought it was
certainly got
awesome.
the right ones, huh?
Yeah, we
No.
did.
You guys are
Thank you
great.
guys.
We had
So
prayed
fun.
for it. No, we did get we were lucky to have y'all.